Carl Edwards, the driver of the number 60 CitiFinancial Ford. Carl is second in our series point standings, our 2007 NASCAR Nationwide Series champion, and just last week, a win at O'Reilly Raceway Park. How you doing?
I'm good. That was a lot of fun last week, and this track looks like it's going to be. It has the potential to be just as exciting, and really, it seems like it's going to be a track that that's going to provide great racing. You know, really excited about the race for that reason, and the fact that that it's kind of close to home for me. Got some good friends up here. My best friend growing up, Ryan Crabb, he lives in Granger, and I spent a summer here. This is 15 years ago when they had that big flood, and we terrorized everything with, jet skis and our bicycles. So I had a lot of fun up here that summer, and just cool to be back here racing.
Why don't you talk about the laps you turned out there in the Nationwide car today?
So far, the CitiFinancial Ford Fusion has been pretty good. The track is just the right size for these cars. You got high enough speeds that it's going to be exciting for the fans. The banking is graduated, so it appears that the second lane, maybe just as fast as the low line, which is the shortest way around. But it seems good. I mean, folks have done a great job. Like I said, I'm truly excited to see the grandstands full. And I mean, I live in Columbia, Missouri, and people have been talking about it all week. I've had at least 3 or 4 people come up to me and say they've got tickets, they're coming, they're excited about the race, and I mean, that's good. That's a good thing.
If you got questions for Carl, Ashley has the mic. Speak up for us a little bit. Name and affiliation before you ask, please.
Hi, Carl. Rob Gray with the Des Moines Register. Quick question. Could you elaborate on your trip there to Granger? I mean, racing, I know you come from a family, steeped in it, but, being to where you're at now is just obviously, distant.
That summer in 1993 when I spent, I guess, almost 2 months here, my buddy Ryan, he lived down the street from this go-kart racer named Eric Jones. And Eric Jones was, he was legendary go-kart racer, and we went to some races with him, and I got to go hang out at his shop with his dad, Ron, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought, here I was 14 years old or something, 13 years old, 14 years old, and I thought, man, this is so cool. And later on, Eric and I raced together in the Craftsman Truck Series, and that was really neat. And, that summer was right before I started racing, and I think hanging out with Eric and being around that stuff, that really got me extremely excited about racing.
Hi, Carl. Mark Burnett from Good Radio. You've been here before. You've tested here.
Yeah.
And this has gotten the moniker of the short track that races like a super speedway. But do you see a physical race here? Have you thought that maybe this might be a physical race with the Nationwide cars?
The speeds are just low enough in the center of the corner. I think you could see some rubbing and some, it's just tough to say. You never know how these races are going to turn out, but the double file restarts are going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be, it's tough to say right now which lane will be the fastest, and it's always fun to come to a new track. I mean, I've had the chance to go to a couple places, for the first time in these type of cars, and it's always fun. Throughout the race, a lot of things are going to change. It's going to be a dynamic competition in that people are going to figure it out or get their cars tuned in, and you never know. I mean, this is a Nationwide Series. It could be a wild event.
Jeff Hood of RacingToday.com. Carl, I know there was a report this week that Jack's going to apparently put Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Colin in Nationwide rides full-time next year. Can you comment on that, what you know about that? And also, what do you think about these 2 young kids that are going to be running with you as teammates?
Yeah, well, I don't know I was just walking in with a PR guy, Corey Wynn, and I was getting ready to ask him that question, how that was going. I haven't heard whether it's, definitive that they're running full time. I hope they are. Colin is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I was just texting him today. He's at Nashville, and he was asking for any tips, which he really doesn't need. He's when we go testing places, he's usually faster than me. And right now, Stenhouse is faster than I am in his nationwide car here. So, and I've been around him for a couple of years with our USAC Silver Crown stuff. I mean, he is a fierce competitor and just a great guy. So both of those guys, I'd be proud to have as teammates next year. I don't know if it's no one's told me officially that that's what's happening. I hope that's what's happening, though. I hope they're running full time, and I hope they do well. Not too well, but pretty well.
Other questions for Carl?
Carl, it's Sean Terrell, WHO-TV in Des Moines. I guess maybe some people outside NASCAR don't understand at first why a guy like yourself, who's established yourself on the Sprint Cup, the big, the top series, would continue to race nationwide in other series.
So you want to know why I do it? Well, if we had a little time machine here right now, I could take you all back about 7-8 years. We'd be hanging out at my mom's house, and I'd be bumming rides to work and just dreaming of being a race car driver. So here we are in 2009, and last weekend at ORP is a perfect example of why I do this. I had a great race, a battle with the Kyle Busch. It was a lot of fun for me, and got to stand there in victory lane at a race in the Nationwide Series, which from where I is the pinnacle of motorsports. I mean, Sprint Cup is obviously the number one motorsport in the country, but the NASCAR Nationwide Series is a very close second. So for me, it's because I love racing. I just dreamed of having these opportunities, and I just have fun. So as long as it's fun, I'll keep doing it. I know that from some perspectives, it looks like, wow, these guys are, competing at this level, and they shouldn't be. But I've only won 2 races this year. It's not like we've dominated. It's a very, very tough competition, and that's why I do it.
Carl, we got to see a picture of the pony car that's going to be introduced next year. Could you give us just your thoughts about the change that's coming up, July of next year, is it? Yeah,
that Mustang looks really neat. I got the chance to drive one of those cars at Lowe's Motor Speedway. I just hope that whatever NASCAR does, I hope that they minimize the downforce on the cars and open up the engine so that we make more power. You guys are going to see the USAC cars race here, and that race, nobody will have an aero push. There won't be any trouble with people racing side by side. And that's because those cars do not rely on aerodynamic, downforce or side force to go around the racetrack. So hopefully with this new car, NASCAR takes the opportunity to minimize the dependence on the aero forces. So that's the only thing. I think it looks great. I think it's great marketing-wise, but it'd be a shame if it had more downforce.
Yeah, Carl, I was going to ask you about the 2010 Ford Mustang, but I'll kind of detour there and ask you. I know that the NASCAR Nationwide team owners had a meeting with NASCAR earlier this week. What have you heard that came out of that meeting? I guess predominantly it was about the COT. What were some other things that you heard they talked about?
I haven't heard anything about that meeting. What day was it on? Well, I'll be interested to see what came out of it. Hopefully I can talk to Joe Balish a little bit. I'm not an owner, so I don't have a stake in what they do. I can only suggest things, but it's good. I was part of the meeting that NASCAR had on the Cup side, and I thought that the attitude that they had in that meeting of, hey, we want to hear it. What do you think? I thought that was really good, and I think that's a positive sign for all of us that rely on this sport and enjoy it.